Okay, great. So we've got a call scheduled with Adrian. She's a hiring manager that I've been meaning to chat with about a new rec we're going to be working on with her team. So here we are. We can see the call is scheduled. Adrian would have received her calendar invites. She's dialing into the call, and now I'm going to connect to the call as a recruiter. And you can see here I get my reminder here as well. So I click join call, and then because I know this is an intake call with the hiring manager, I'm going to select my hiring manager intake session guide with those key questions to ask a hiring manager about their open role. I click connect, and I'm just going to talk through my computer audio. I could also dial in through my mobile phone or my landline.
You may hear hold music while all parties are connecting. This call will be recorded.
Hey, Adrian, it's Nick. How are you?
I'm doing great, Nick, and yourself?
Doing well, doing well. Well, hey, thanks so much for the time today. I thank you for sending over the job description. I had a chance to look at that, but thought it would be great to just talk a little bit more about the open role on your team.
Absolutely. I'm excited to get going with you on it.
Awesome. Well, Adrian, tell me a little bit more about this role, why the event manager position is open, and what's it all about?
Well, our company has been doing a lot of growing, and actually we've seen a lot of growth internationally. And so the person that has always been doing our all of our trade shows for the company, both domestically and internationally, has really gotten too bogged down. And we've decided to move that person up into more of a role for international trade shows. But we need someone to still work on our base, our customers that are in the States, as well as the trade shows that go on there, as well as the world has continued to change. We're not doing as many visits directly to our distributors that we used to do. And so we want to be able to work with someone who actually understands doing like meeting with our distributors online and having virtual events and talking to them through the computer and building those relationships so that distributors can better sell our products.
Awesome. Okay. No, that's fantastic. I guess, and so it's a bit of the transition from offline to online. This person will help you kind of navigate that. I guess, what would you say is the most exciting part of this type of work or this role at this particular company?
Actually, it's an interesting thing because it's the first time ever having this role, because like I said, there's someone else who did it before in a different way.
Okay.
And so we divided it, meaning one being international, but then also the domestic role. And then this particular person will also start domestically doing the online, the virtual training, and that can grow considerably. Frankly, I would rather not be sending people to China and places like that anymore, to the UK. It's an expensive thing. And if we can find someone that does that and really builds that side of our, our training, and it can help us grow business without putting them in an airplane and paying for hotels and everything else, that's a win for everybody.
Fantastic. Well, this sounds like a really exciting role. I mean, based on the job description that you sent and our call today, I think we're ready to kick off this search. We'll start reaching out to candidates, build that pipeline, and then have some profiles to share with you soon. Does that sound good?
Awesome. Yes, awesome. We're all excited about it. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, Adrienne. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for the time today. All the best.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yep, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so we just hung up the phone with Adrienne, the hiring manager. I had a great intake call with her. And here you have all of the interview insights, the recruiting insights from that conversation. We tagged the key moments. We have the full call that was recorded. The call is also transcribed, so we can search it. We have a record of that conversation. And we've got those key highlights. Now, what we can do with an intake call with a hiring manager is, instead of sending out a basic job description to candidates, or sending a basic job description over to our sourcing team or fellow recruiters that will be working on the role, what I can do is click the highlights button and include those two great sound bites we captured on the fly during that call with Adrienne, of her describing what's exciting about the role. We can see the job description's already there. And then I'm also going to go ahead and paste the job description into the summary section here and show you what that can do. So we have the hiring manager's name and title, where she's at, her LinkedIn profile, a few key tags for this particular role. And what we can do is click this job preview button. And what that's going to do is going to create a branded link that I can share with candidates, I can share with my colleagues, I can share with fellow sourcers, make it really easy for them to get to know the hiring manager and hear about this opportunity directly from the source, right? In the hiring manager's own words. So this link, you can paste it in LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook. It'll be branded with your logo and your recruiter's profile, and it'll really pop in social media. And again, a candidate can quickly hear about why this role is open and what's most exciting about the role.
Actually, it's an interesting thing because it's the first time ever having this role because, like I said, there's someone else who did it before in a different way. And so we divided.
And again, that goes way beyond just reading a job description. Here, the candidate gets to meet their future boss. Is Adrienne someone that you would want to work for? She sounds enthusiastic, motivating, sounds like a great person to work with. And now the candidate can click this button to schedule a call with the particular recruiter, right? And these scheduling links can have your employer branding videos. They can capture resume attachments, right? And even custom questions when candidates book a time with your recruiters. And so that's how calls are scheduled automatically through the system. Okay, great. So here we're back on the homepage, and I can see I have another upcoming interview with Andy. Now, Andy is a candidate I scheduled a call with who's interviewing for a sales role with a client of ours. So for Andy, I'm going to join the call with him, and I'm going to select the account executive interview guide. Now, these are the key questions our client would like us to ask candidates for this particular sales role. So I'm going to select that and then join the interview. But this time, I'm not going to do phone. I'm going to do a video conversation with Andy. So I'm going to click the computer video button. It'll just do natively through my Chrome web browser.
Now being connected to your
and
call.
We'll wait for Andy to join the call.
You may hear hold music while all parties are connecting. This call will be recorded.
There he is. Hey, Andy, it's Nick. How are you?
Hey, Nick. Thanks for taking the time to meet with me. I'm good, thank you.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate your time. And it sounds like you've been busy. I think you mentioned you were in Vegas at a sales event or something like that. Is that right?
I am. I made Chairman's Club again this year. So I'm out here in Vegas. They put us up in the wind. Got a great suite. And tell you the truth, I just came up from the pool to take the call, and I'm going to head right back down because people are waiting on me.
Well, we'll keep this quick. Well, your resume speaks for itself. I was impressed with your background on LinkedIn, and thanks for responding to my LinkedIn message. I guess we'd love to hear a little bit more from you just about your current sales role. Maybe tell me a little bit more about your quota.
Sure. Here's today's role. I carry a $10 million quota. I report into the Chief Revenue Officer. I've been with the business 3 years now. I started 3 years ago, $1 million quota. I knocked that out of the park. I finished 150% of quota. Year two, they gave me a $5 million quota. I was able to own my $5 million quota. And then year three, here I am, Chairman's Club again, and knocked it out. And I decided, when I got your note, I said, maybe it's time for me to take a look around. So that's why I'm having the call.
Fantastic. Well, Andy, I see you've been in sales, worked at different types of companies, different industries. I guess, what kind of sales support or sales tools do you need to be successful in your role?
Yeah, sure, Nick. Well, I'll just look. I'm really technology agnostic. For me, it's about using your phone and your personality and your persistence to getting the job done. And again, like I said, I've used a variety of systems throughout my career, but currently MailChimp and Salesforce. We bust out a bunch of emails that go out to MailChimp. My SDRs check it out. If it's at my level, they load it up in Salesforce, and then I knock out about 100 leads a week.
Fantastic. And Andy, I'm sure you're inundated by in-mails and emails from recruiters about opportunities. I guess what stood out to you about the role with our client? What jumped out to you?
The hiring manager, I'd really like to meet him, and what I heard was great, and you guys do good code, so I'm interested.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate the time. I think that's all we need. Based on your resume, our conversation today, what I'd like to do to share a few notes and highlights from our call with the client, schedule that next step, which would be an on-site or coffee meeting for you to continue the conversation with their CRO directly and see where this goes.
Okay. Sounds great,
right.
Nick. I'm very interested. Let's get it going. I'm going to go back and join the party.
Yes.
Okay.
Let you get back to the fun. All right. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Talk soon.
Thanks for taking the time.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. So that was a call with Andy, the candidate, for a sales role we're working on. Great conversation. What I'd like to do is submit him now. But what I don't typically like doing is having to spend 20 or 30 minutes on a write-up. So here with Honeit, what I can do is, I've got, again, the notes, the tags, the cold call, I can reference it later. I've got those key responses I captured, and the notes and the transcription is processing now. But instead of a 20-minute write-up, all I have to do to present a candidate to a client is to go up here and click highlights. I'm going to include all 3 of those excerpts. I think they were all great answers.
I carry a $10 million quote.
Right. And I have his resume in the system. He included that on the scheduling link. I've got a few details around his candidacy. And what I'm going to do is just click a create share link again, similar to creating a job preview, but this is creating an Audible candidate preview. And it's a link that I can paste into my CRM or ATS. I can email it, I can text it, I can Slack it, and make it really easy for someone else to quickly hear the great stories or answers that I just heard, right? So now recruiters and sourcers can collaborate, hiring managers can quickly hear the highlights, and let Andy speak for himself.
I carry a $10 million quota. I report into the chief
right? And so again, a nice highlight reel from our natural phone or video conversation with a candidate or with a hiring manager. And again, these are fully branded, right? So you can your colors, your logos, your branding, right? Whatever it might be, and really make that candidate stand out from the competition, and really, again, let talent speak for itself.